you had some success when you'd written short stories for a while, but then you write your first novel in 2012. And then you write 3 more novels over the next 3 years, and then you switch to short stories. What precipitated that change?
So when I first decided that I was going to send my work out to agents and publishers, I started writing adult books. And I was still very green. I still didn't know what I was doing. I was just writing what I loved, and whatever came in my head, I wrote down on a paper and I sent it off. And it wasn't going anywhere. You know, I'd get nice little polite letters going, thank you, but no thank you. So I thought, okay, let me just put that to one side. That's not working at the moment. And let me just write short stories, which I did a lot when I was a child. They're a lot quicker. And what I will do is I'll just write short stories and I'll just put it up on forums or social media. And I'll just see what feedback I get from that. And so that's what I started to do. I started to write short stories. I used to put them on forums. On my Instagram, I used to write short stories and put them on there. And then I saw a competition on Twitter asking people to put out their stories. You had to do like I don't know how many, I think it's 240 characters in a tweet or something like that. And you sort of had to pitch your work. And those agents and publishers would be looking, and if they liked it, they would like your tweet, and that would mean you'd send them your work. So that's what I did. I pitched a story that I'd started, which was originally Mangoes. It was just one chapter, and I didn't know where it was going. And I pitched that, and they liked it. I sent that off. And my agent, I had a meeting with my agent, and she agreed to sign me, basically. But yeah, so I started off doing short stories because writing for adults wasn't working for me, and I just wanted to take a break. I wanted to continue writing, but I just wanted to take a break from that and sort of reassess which direction I was going to go.
See, I can always almost hear a portion of the audience who's in the submission, who's in the query minds at the moment, who's screaming, "Wait, go back! How did you just get an agent? That's the dream I want for myself." So you're tweeting, and this agent likes your tweet, and then you set a meeting in person, or what's the next step?
Yeah, so it was called DivPit, I think, on Twitter, and so when they like your pitch, they usually tell you how to send your work off, and sometimes it's like 1 chapter plus a synopsis, or maybe 3 chapters plus a synopsis. Different agents ask for different things. I think my agent asked for 3 chapters plus a synopsis, which I did. I sent that off to her, the email that she'd said to send the work to. So I sent that off to her. And I didn't hear anything for a while. Then she got back to me and said, "I love the 3 chapters. Can you send me the rest of the work? What else you've got?" So I sent that to her, and she was quite quick, actually. I think maybe a week or 2 weeks later, she said, "Can we arrange to have a meeting?" And I was like, "Oh my goodness." I'm so excited. And it's really funny because I remember that she wanted me to meet in London because that's where her office was, and I didn't have any money to go to London. I just remember thinking, how am I going to get to London? I'm going to have to find a way. I don't even think I've actually told her this story. I'm going to have to find a way to get to London. And I remember dipping into my rent money to buy my ticket to go to London, and I couldn't afford to buy lunch or breakfast. So I was starving. I was so hungry. I went into the meeting. I hadn't had breakfast. I hadn't had lunch. And I was so nervous. I didn't know what to say to her. And I thought I'd completely blown the meeting because I was just so nervous. And then I think it was a week later, maybe week and a half later, she sent me an email and saying, it was a lovely meeting and I would like to represent you if you are on board. And I was like, yes, please.
Thank God. How are you feeling on the train back? You think that you've blown it, and you've also dipped into your rent money, and you're hungry.
Yeah. I remember at the time I was so overwhelmed with hunger that I couldn't think much of the actual meeting. I just needed to eat. And then when I came home and I ate, I remember it started to sink in and I just felt just a little bit sick to my stomach because I thought I'd completely blown it. I was like, oh, no, there is no way she's going to sign me, because I was a nervous wreck. I didn't ask any questions. I was mumbling. I don't know what I was talking about. There is no way. And I got quite a little bit mad with myself that I'd blown such a huge moment. So I wasn't expecting her to say yes.
And so when she does, is that like winning every lottery there ever was? What's that experience?
It was when I got the email, I remember just squealing, jumping to my feet, and then texting everybody I know. Before I even answered her, I think I just was like, oh my gosh, guess what just happened? Yeah, I was so elated and in disbelief as well. And I think that pretty much describes my entire writing journeys, as I'm always in complete disbelief of where I am and how I got here. I always think people are just gonna find out I'm a complete fraud and I'm not meant to be here. Like, how did you get here? You're terrible. But yeah, I was just so excited, and I couldn't believe it was actually happening. I felt that way for a really long time. Even after I signed the contract, I still couldn't believe it.
I wonder what would happen if if an agent saw that you'd accepted their offer on Twitter before you got to them.
I know.
She was very
okay, that's a yes then.
She's updated her social media bio. Hang on.
Already changed my bio before I emailed her.
Like right before the second date, changing your status to in a relationship. Hang on now.
Are we?
We might have been, but not now. Goodbye.
So you've blown that.